Let's jump in. Our mission for this deep dive is looking at vertical AI here in the US. We're focusing specifically on two really complex, highly regulated areas, healthcare and finance.
Right.
We've gathered quite a bit of material for you. It seems pretty clear. The big story isn't the general AI models grabbing headlines. It's really about specialization.
That's the critical contrast, absolutely.
Yeah.
While the big generalized models get the buzz, the actual business value, the real transformation, it's happening with specialized vertical AI.
And for very different reasons in these two sectors.
Totally different drivers. Healthcare is adopting defensively. It feels crisis-driven, dealing with staff shortages, razor-thin margins. Finance, though, they're playing offense. Pure disruption strategy, aiming for huge efficiency gains and better risk management.
And the data backs that up in a surprising way. Our sources show healthcare is, well, kind of an unexpected leader here. They're deploying AI at 2.2 times the rate of the overall economy.
Yeah, it's adoption born from pressure, real existential pressure.
Exactly. Service profits are falling. Admin costs are just crushing. You can see the urgency.
That structural pressure is just, immense.
And it shows up in how fast they're buying this stuff. Their procurement cycle for AI tools has dropped 18%. Used to be 8 months. Now it's down to like 6.6 months.
They're moving fast because they have to.
But normally, regulation would put the brakes on that kind of speed, right? Especially in healthcare. So how is the FDA even allowing this acceleration?
That's the key. The real breakthrough is something from the FDA called the Predetermined Change Control Plan, or PCCP.
PCCP, okay.
Think of it like getting pre-approval for future updates. A manufacturer can define and validate a plan for model changes in advance. So later improvements don't mean a whole new application every single time.
Wow, okay, so that's like regulatory agility built in.
Exactly. And that agility is becoming a massive competitive advantage, almost a barrier to entry.
So where are we seeing this speed and agility make a difference, like in actual clinical practice?
Well, the big shift is from being reactive to becoming predictive. We're seeing AI used as, say, a second reader for mammograms.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, helping catch things earlier, more accurately than just human eyes alone. It fundamentally changes diagnostic timelines.
Okay, so healthcare is defense driven by necessity. Let's pivot to finance. You said they're playing offense. How?
They're moving beyond basic automation. The big push is towards what's called Agentic AI.
Agentic AI.
Yeah, systems that can autonomously plan and execute really complex workflows. They don't need constant human hand-holding for every step.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty big leap.
It's a radical shift, especially in these really dense, data-heavy compliance areas like anti-money laundering AML or Know Your Customer KYC.
Right, those are notoriously complex.
So instead of tasks moving step by step between people, one analyst might supervise a whole, squad of maybe 20 AI agents working together.
A squad of AI agents.
Exactly. And the numbers we're seeing cited. Productivity boosts anywhere from 200% up to, 2,000% in some cases, just by getting rid of those bottlenecks.
That's wild. And are the big banks approaching this the same way?
Well, we see different strategies. JP Chase seems to be going for an aggressive AI empire approach. They boast like 400+ use cases already in production.
Wow.
But then you look at Bank of America. They seem more cautious, maybe an internal-first strategy. They're reporting big gains, like 20% in their developer efficiency first, before maybe rolling things out wider to customers.
Interesting contrast. But ultimately, whether it's healthcare or finance, they both run into the same wall, right? Compliance.
Absolutely. That's the common challenge. You've got HIPAA in healthcare, GLBA in finance, strict rules about privacy, auditability.
And AI's power can actually make things trickier there, like re-identifying data.
That's the core conflict. AI can be so powerful it can sometimes piece together supposedly anonymous data and figure out who it belongs to.
So what are regulators like the SEC or FINRA doing? Are they scrambling to write totally new AI rules?
Actually, no. Not really. They're mostly applying the existing rules we already have, the ones that are meant to be technology neutral. But they're applying them rigorously. The message is clear. The burden of proof is entirely on the companies. You have to prove fairness, governance, accountability. Transparency is key.
Which brings us neatly to the solution, I guess. Explainable AI or XAI?
Exactly. XAI.
This is the tech that helps you understand why the AI did what it did, right? Like cracking open that black box.
Precisely. So, for example, you might have XAI tools, SHAP is one name you hear, that can show exactly how much Different factors like transaction frequency or the amount or where it happened contributed to flagging something as a potential money laundering risk.
So it gives you the reasoning.
Yes, and that's crucial. But XAI isn't just about explaining things to regulators or customers like why a loan was denied. It's becoming this essential internal tool. Think of it as the AI's own black box recorder, like on an airplane. As these systems get more autonomous, more agentic, teams need XAI to diagnose issues, manage that inherent risk, and figure out why a system made a certain decision before it potentially leads to a big, costly mistake.
Got it. So the bottom line for you listening is success in vertical AI isn't just about the tech. It's this blend of the technology, sharp business strategy, and critically, getting the compliance and transparency piece right.
Right. Which leads to a pretty interesting final thought. If the speed of deploying AI now really depends on how fast a company can navigate regulation, like getting that FDA PCCP approved, or building a really solid XAI framework, does that suddenly make the compliance officer maybe the most important person in an AI startup?
That's quite a thought. A potential shift in the power structure. Something for you all to think about.